Good evening, I'm Sean Atkins, and at this time I'd like to call our regularly scheduled October meeting to order. Staff, would you please sound roll call to establish a quorum?
Commissioner Lovett? Here. Commissioner Bell?
Here.
Commissioner Miller?
Here.
Commissioner Fan?
Present.
Commissioner Atkins?
Present.
Commissioner Tucker?
Here.
Commissioner McKnight? Commissioner Maxwell? Commissioner Mitchell? Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Great. I just want to recognize that we have got a full house tonight, so it's so good to see some of my colleagues who were not able to make it to our last month's meeting. So all smiling faces, and staff, we've got a full roster of staff tonight, so I'm feeling great. Okay, thank you, staff. At this time, we take a moment of silence, so if you would all join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. If you would stand and join me in a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Commissioners, at this time, I will entertain a motion to adopt our agenda as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Tucker, second by Commissioner Mitchell, that we adopt our October 18, 2018 meeting agenda. All in favor sound aye. Aye. All opposed sound nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it. Our agenda is adopted. Commissioners, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve our September 20th, 2018 meeting minutes.
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Miller, seconded by Commissioner Mitchell, that we approve our September 20th, 2018 meeting minutes. All in favor sound aye. Aye. All opposed sound nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it. Our September 20, 2018 meeting minutes are approved. We'll now move into old business. Commissioners, you will notice that we've got 3 cases that the public hearings have already taken place. The case that will require a public hearing tonight is case number 2018 Z as in zebra-010-09. At this time, I will read our rules for public hearings, and I just want to let commissioners know that because we will not have a public hearing for the first 3 agenda items, if you have questions of the applicant, you are permitted to ask questions. We just will not have a formal public hearing because we've already had the public hearing for those cases. Public hearings before the Planning and Zoning Commission shall be conducted in accordance to Section 10-2219 of the East Point Zoning Code and Development Regulations as follows. Persons both favoring and opposing the proposed case will be provided an opportunity to address the Commission. The applicant for the zoning case or the applicant designated representative, if any, will be entitled to speak first, followed by other speakers in favor of the proposal for a total of 15 minutes. Those who oppose the proposed zoning case will then be permitted to speak for a total of 15 minutes. By majority vote, the Commission may increase the total time for speakers, provided that each side is given the same amount of time. If there's more than one speaker for a side, the chair or the presiding officer may limit the time allotted to each individual speaker other than the zoning applicant. The zoning applicant may reserve a portion of his or her allotted time for rebuttal. Speakers must adhere to the rules of decorum. Prior to speaking, each speaker shall identify him or herself, state his or her current address. Each speaker shall speak only to the merits of the proposed zoning decision under consideration, shall address remarks only to the Commission, and shall refrain from making personal attacks on any other speaker. The presiding officer may refuse a speaker the right to continue if after first the speaker continues to violate the rules of decorum. If after first the speaker is cautioned but continues to violate the rules of decorum. At this time, I'll ask staff to sound our first agenda item.
Case number 2018 U-004-08, concurrent variance number 2018 VC-014-08. The applicant is Mr. Eric Hackney. The address is 3440 Lee Street. The applicant is seeking a habitable accessory structure special use permit with a 2-part concurrent variance to increase the percentage of maximum allowable floor area in section 10-2130.9 and an increase in the maximum allowable height as required in section 10-2130.8.
Thank you. Commissioners, again, we've had the public hearing for this agenda item. Staff, would you please sound your recommendation?
In case number 2018 U-004-08, concurrent variance 2018 VC-014-08, Eric Hackney, location 3440 Lee Street. Staff recommends approval of the special use permit for a habitable accessory structure in the R18 urban residential zoning with the following conditions. Structure must meet minimum requirements of a habitable accessory structure per 2012 RRC with current state amendments. Ensure side yard setback is not less than 7 feet. Less than 7 feet will initiate automatic residential sprinklers as required in City Ordinance 6-2046. Permanent emergency escape ladders shall be installed in every sleeping room on the second story and above, per City Ordinance 6-2045. Staff recommends denial of concurrent variance Part 1 to Section 10-2130.9, increasing the maximum allowable floor area from 50% to approximately 70%. The applicant failed to meet the hardship provisions as required in Section 10-2184. Staff recommends denial of concurrent variance Part 2 to Section 10-2130.8, exceeding the maximum allowable height. The applicant failed to meet the hardship provision, again, as required in Section 10-2184.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard staff's recommendation, and we also heard from the applicant at our regularly scheduled September meeting. At this time, I'll entertain a motion. And Commissioners, please remember that this is a special use permit with a concurrent variance, and the motion should be made in the form of a recommendation. Let's not all speak at once, please. Okay, great.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Tucker.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of the special use permit and denial of concurrent variance Part 1 and Part 2.
Is there a second?
I second motion.
Okay, there's been a motion made by Commissioner Tucker that this body recommends approval of the special use permit 2018 U as in umbrella -004-08 and deny the concurrent variances Part 1 and Part 2. That motion was seconded by Commissioner Maxwell. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor sound aye. Aye. All opposed sound nay. Hearing none, the motion passes. So we will recommend approval of the special use permit, Mr. Hackney, and this body recommends denial of the concurrent variances. Okay? You're welcome.
Mr. Chair, for clarification from Mr. Tucker, who is the maker of the motion, was it your intention to make the motion to approve the special use permit without the conditions recommended by staff, or was your intention otherwise?
That was my intention, to include the items 1, 2, and 3 of the staff recommendation.
The conditions.
Conditions.
I'm sorry, your motion was to include those staff conditions as part of the approval?
Yes. Okay.
Was that the understanding of Mr. Maxwell, who seconded the motion? Okay. I think maybe we might want to, redo that motion just for clarification's sake for the record, because that was not stated in your motion.
Okay. So in order to dispose of the motion that has taken place, will we just need to...
You will ask a motion for reconsideration, and then somebody has to second that motion. You vote on the reconsideration, and then you can make another motion with...
Okay. Okay, Commissioners, are you under... Yes, Commissioner Miller.
I would like to make a motion for reconsideration.
Does he have to state he voted on the prevailing side?
He did. Everyone voted on the prevailing side.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, so what Commissioner Mitchell was asking is that in order to make a motion for reconsideration, you must vote on the prevailing side, and you did vote in favor of Mr. Tucker's motion and the second by Commissioner Maxwell, correct? Okay, so Commissioner Miller has made a motion for reconsideration. Is there a second? It's been moved by Commissioner Miller, seconded by Commissioner Maxwell, that this body reconsiders the action that has just taken
The
place.
second was by Commissioner Mitchell.
By, what did I say, Maxwell? I'm sorry, by Commissioner Mitchell. All in favor, sound aye for reconsideration. Aye. All opposed, sound nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it. Now we will open the floor for a new motion. Commissioner Tucker, if you would like to make that motion.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of a special use permit, and in that, including the staff's conditions as stated, and would like to recommend denial of concurrent variance Part 1 and Part 2.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Tucker that this body recommends approval of the special use permit 2018 U as in umbrella -004-08, including staff's conditions as stated, conditions 1, 2, and 3, and also to recommend denial of concurrent variance Parts 1 and Part 2. The motion was made by Commissioner Tucker, seconded by Commissioner Maxwell. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns? Okay. Commissioner McKnight?
I do have a question in regards to the maximum allowable height, because it's my understanding the house in front, it has a lower height, it's older, 1920s. He wants to have something a little bit higher. In order for that to happen, is that something that we would need to do outside of this?
That was part of the concurrent variance, which the gentleman was applying for. He was applying for a variance to the height limitations for habitable accessory structures,
Right.
and also for the floor area. So the motion that's on the table is to approve the special use permit with conditions, but to deny the two concurrent variances, one of which is the variance for increasing the height. And that is the proper process to go through, to seek a variance.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? The motion is to approve the special use permit with conditions as stated by staff and to deny concurrent variances, Part 1 and 2. All in favor, sound aye. Aye. All opposed, sound nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it. This body will recommend approval of the special use permit and recommend denial of concurrent variances, Part 1 and 2. Staff, would you please sound agenda item 2018 V as in Victor -009-08.
Case number 2018 V-009-08, the applicant, Land Engineering and Development, the location 1629 Washington Road. They were seeking a 9-part variance to Section 10-2075A24A, distance requirements of drive-through restaurants, Section 10-2075 LIB, minimum drive-through lane width, Section 10-2075, this is, I guess, ILC. I apologize.
1B.
Is that? Doesn't look like one. We're gonna verify that. Hold on one moment.
Sure. Just give us just 1 second. We want to make sure that we have the letters and numbers right because they will be a part of the official record.
This is where the sections, that was like, it's what you like. So you've got, that was his house. This was But this is a new build, that'll be a two-story house. And then this is one that you will say this probably would be 10 left of the original structure.
So this gotta be more
They could build two stories. This would be like be like matching that. So that it makes economic sense to take that roof off. I see that's maybe that's you could still have the project. Yeah, but he's creating.
more than just
But he's creating.
I also think about it for me, who as a owner, you know, if I want to be able to do something in my property,
I apologize, Mr. Chair. This
Okay.
isn't moving too fast, but we think we have the code section sorted.
Okay, all right. Commissioners, your attention, please.
So the applicant is seeking a 9-part variance to Section 10-2075A24A, distance requirements of drive-through restaurants, Section 10-2075II, subsection II,
It's 2075.
subsection II, minimum drive-through lane width, Section 10-2075I, subsection III, drive-through window street frontage, Section 10-2075IF, landscape planter requirement, Section 10-14012A1, landscape strip minimum width, Section 10-14012A2, tree planting and landscape strip, Section 10-14013A, parking lot screening, Section 10-14016A1, building orientation, and Section 10-14017A2, drive-through prohibition for eating and drinking establishments.
Thank you, Commissioners. If you would recall, also at our regularly scheduled September meeting, we heard from the applicant during the public hearing, so there will be no public hearing for this agenda item this evening. At this time, I'll ask staff to please sound its recommendation.
In case number 2018 V-009-08, the applicant Land Engineering and Development, location 1629 Washington Road. Staff received a letter dated October 9, 2018, from the owner of the property requesting its authorization for the variance application be withdrawn. Therefore, staff recommends acceptance of the request to withdraw the 9-part concurrent variance.
Okay, thank you. Madam Attorney, should our motion this evening be to file this or to accept the recommendation for withdrawal? Which would be most appropriate for this particular case?
I think it would be most appropriate to just accept staff's recommendation of withdrawal.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard from staff, and you've also heard that the applicant has submitted a letter dated October 9th that the applicant wishes to withdraw the application. At this time, I entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I recommend that we accept the staff's recommendation on 2018V-009-8.
Okay, so let me just go over that for 1 second, Commissioner Lovett. So it's actually not staff's recommendation, and we will be the final arbiter for this, and so you don't have to make the motion in the form of a recommendation. It is the applicant who requested to withdraw. Is it your intention that your motion is to accept the withdrawal of the applicant?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Lovett, seconded by Commissioner Miller, that this body accepts the request of the applicant to withdraw the application. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor sound aye. Aye. All opposed sound nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it. This body accepts the applicant's desire to withdraw. Our next agenda item is 2018 M as in Mary -004-08. Staff, would you please sound this agenda item?
Case number 2018 M-004-08 is a citywide text amendment to Part 10, Chapter 7, Signs, Section 10-7012, Exceptions.
Okay. Commissioners, again, this agenda item, the body heard from the applicant at our regularly scheduled September meeting. At this time, I'll ask staff to sound its recommendation.
In case number 2018 M-004-08, the citywide text amendment to Part 10, Chapter 7, Signs, Section 10-7012, Exceptions. Staff is withdrawing the text amendment to amend Part 10, Chapter 7, Section 10-7012, Exceptions due to additional vetting.
Thank you. Commissioners, at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the withdrawal on 2018M-004-8.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lovett, seconded by Commissioner Miller, that this body accepts staff's request to withdraw the application. All in favor sound aye. Aye. All opposed sound nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it. This body accepts the request to withdraw the application. Our next agenda item is 2018 Z as in Zebra -010-09. This agenda item does require a public hearing. Commissioners, this time I entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second? It's been moved by Commissioner Tucker, seconded by Commissioner McKnight, that we open the public hearing for case number 2018 Z as in Zebra -010-009. All in favor sound aye. Aye. All opposed sound nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it. The public hearing is now open. Is the applicant present this evening? Okay, would you please step to the podium, state your first and last name and your current address?
My name is Harold Buckley, 2849 Paces Ferry Road in Atlanta, 30339, Suite 700. And I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Kairos Development.
Go ahead, Mr. Buckley.
The application that you have before you is a request to rezone the property known as the Wagon Works, which is located across the railroad tracks from downtown East Point. I've provided you with a concept plan. If you look at that plan on the right side of the page, marked by the letter M, is East Cleveland Avenue. And then above that, marked by the letter L, is the pedestrian bridge across the train tracks to the East Point MARTA station. Along the southern end of the property, The site is bordered by R.N. Martin Street, and then to the far left edge of the property, at the end marked A and B, the site abuts Irene Kidd Parkway, just to orient you to the site. Last year, summer, August of 2017, Kairos came before you with an application to rezone the Buggy Works. The Buggy Works is the site that includes Jefferson Station, which is the location for several East Point offices, including the planning department. And we asked to have that property rezoned to the mix zoning category, and it was from CR to mix. The reason for that was that the development included a number of land uses that had become legally non-conforming due to changes in the CR zoning regulations. And one of those non-conforming tenants was the Morehouse School of Medicine, which is actually our largest tenant within the Buggy Works. So we were concerned that should the Morehouse School of Medicine want to expand its floor area, we couldn't do that because the zoning ordinance says you cannot expand a non-conforming use. We also were concerned about the marketability of Jefferson Station because the city of East Point will be leaving that space once the new city hall is built downtown. And there were a couple of other tenants in that building as well that were non-conforming. Ultimately, this body recommended and the city council actually approved the rezoning subject to several conditions. And one of those conditions was a concept plan. The reason that we went with a concept plan instead of a hard and fast site plan was we needed the entitlements to market the property to new potential tenants. And we did not know exactly what we would be building until we knew who the actual end users would be. And so instead of a definite site plan, a concept plan was attached to that rezoning. At the time that that rezoning was approved, we had no idea that the Wagon Works, which is adjacent to the Buggy Works, would also become available, and Kairos actually took advantage of the opportunity and purchased that property as well. So in terms of our master planning activities, we have expanded from looking at redeveloping just the Buggy Works to redeveloping the Wagon Works and the Buggy Works as a coordinated redevelopment effort. So that is why we are before you today. Now, of course, that begs the question, why do we need to rezone from CR to mix this time? And it is not because we have non-conforming tenants, unlike the first go-round. The reason that we are asking for a rezoning is because under our current CR zoning, we are not allowed to have ground-level residential uses. All the residential uses that are allowed under our current zoning must be second floor or above. And as I walk you through our concept plan, you'll see that that completely disrupts our vision for the property, which we have been working on in concert with the planning staff. So we have been talking with them back and forth extensively since the last time we were before you. If you look at the concept plan, the existing Wagon Works building is marked as F. That is the current office building on the site, which has a substantial historic character. It has been there for as long as the Buggy Works has been on its site, and there is no plan whatsoever to make any changes to that building. So that will be staying the way it is. But what we want to do is along the side of that property that abuts the railroad tracks, we want to redevelop that space so that instead of a blank concrete parking lot, we have a mix of uses that really activates that site and embraces its proximity to the heart of the city of East Point. If you look at the area adjacent to the existing Buggy Works building, you will see areas marked J and I. Those two uses are proposed to be new restaurants that serve an upscale clientele. If you actually look at J, it looks like a landscaped area, and that's because for that restaurant, Our vision is to have a rooftop landscaped amenity area. So, I don't know if you've been to any number of restaurants around town that have rooftop seating, but that is what we're looking at with landscaping for the patrons in that space. Adjacent to that, marked as K, is a courtyard that adds additional outdoor space, and that would just be sort of a passive open space with a few tables in between the restaurant that could be used by the tenants of the office building during the day, or as nighttime amenity space, maybe for people waiting for their tables to become available, or those who are on the site and want to soak in the ambiance. Adjacent to that is marked as G, the valet service area. The concept is that people come in, they give their keys to the valet in that area, and their cars are parked, and then they come back out once they are ready to go, and they retrieve their cars from that area. If you look at the area shown as E on the concept plan, our vision is for those to be detached homes on the site. They would be roughly in the area of 1,400 to 1,700 square feet. But once again, if we can't have ground level residential uses, we can't have that component that we want to add to our plan under the current zoning. Next to the Wagon Works, it's not marked by a letter, but you see buildings arranged in a C sort of shape with a parking lot in the middle. Those would be townhomes. So they still, once again, under the current zoning, would not be a permissible use because you're not allowed to have residential uses at ground level. Along the railroad tracks at the top of the site, marked as D, would be a series of boxcars. And the intention behind that boxcar space would be to, number one, embrace and celebrate the railroad character of this site. I mean, the railroad tracks right there are a big part of what you experience while you're there. So you have two choices. You can either try to ignore it and cover it up, or you could embrace it. And we've chosen the latter because by embracing that space, we're also embracing, as I said, the proximity we have to the heart of the city, trying to build that connection psychologically between us and the square area. The users of those boxcar spaces, in our minds, would be local business owners who are ready to move up to a fixed location, but maybe not quite ready to go into a full bricks and mortar location. It would sort of be similar to someone who is ready for a food truck operation, but not a brick and mortar restaurant. And so that would be an amenity that would allow something that was uniquely East Point, since, once again, the people that we are looking to draw are local business people who are offering unique services. And then the final component you see on the left end of the concept plan is a multifamily residential building wrapped around a parking deck that serves the people who live in that building. While we are adding this parking space, and obviously we would need to, number one, because we're taking out the existing parking lot, number two, we're adding residents to the site, we are doing it in a way that allows that deck to be there, but without intruding visually into the surrounding community, because the building is wrapping that facility and screening it from view from the adjacent street. So that's our vision for the property. It really is an extension of the vision that the city has already approved for the Buggy Works. We have seen the staff report, and the conditions that are recommended by the planning staff the format is consistent with what we saw in the Buggy Works approval, and we agree with those conditions and ask for your approval. And at this point, I'll take any questions you have.
No questions. It's a public hearing, so that'll be later. Are there any other proponents to speak in favor of this zoning case? Any other proponents? Are there any opponents here to speak against this zoning case? Any opponents? Seeing none, hearing none, Commissioners, at this time I entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second motion.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lovett, seconded by Commissioner Maxwell, that we close the public hearing. All in favor sound aye. Aye. All opposed sound nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it. The public hearing is now closed. Staff, would you please sound your recommendation?
In case number 2018Z-010-09, the applicant Kairos Development Corporation, the address 1514 Cleveland Avenue. Staff recommends approval of the rezoning from CR Commercial Redevelopment to MIX Mixed Use District with the following conditions. Hold on one second. I lost my place. Permitted uses shall include all residential dwellings allowed in R3, multifamily residential, uses allowed in C1, neighborhood commercial, C2, central business district, CL, commercial limited, and CR, commercial redevelopment. Prohibited uses, church, temple, or place of worship, car wash, including hand car wash, food stores, convenience stores, all uses and services related to automobiles, trucks, boats, and trailers, assisted living facility, cemetery and/or mausoleum, community living arrangement, personal care home, all industrial uses allowed in I-1 light industrial, I-2 heavy industrial, and BP business park. Prior to issuance of a land disturbance permit or a construction permit, a traffic impact study will be required to determine the impact of the proposed development. Reference Conceptual Development Plan, Exhibit A.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard from the applicant. You've also heard staff's recommendation. At this time, I entertain a motion. Please remember that this agenda item is a rezoning. The motion must be made in the form of a recommendation.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Tucker?
I would like to make a motion to recommend approval of the rezoning from CR to mixed use district with the stated conditions of staff,
Okay.
1 through 3.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Tucker, seconded by Commissioner Lovett, that this body recommends approval of case number 2018 Z as in zebra -010-09 with conditions as stated by staff, numbers 1 through 3. That motion was seconded by Commissioner Lovett. Any comments, questions, or concerns?
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes, Commissioner Tucker.
To staff. Could you tell me what food stores means? The definition of food stores? I know you were talking about the trains, which I think I've seen that in one of the suburban areas. They have restaurants in them.
Sorry. A retail establishment wherein any of the following are offered for sale or sold by retail: fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, bakery, meat, poultry or fish products, frozen foods, along with processed, prepackaged, and perishable food, but also may sell other convenience and household items, and which occupies a minimum of 7,500 square feet, but not more than 74,999 square feet of gross floor area. Be careful what you ask for. But that is the definition in the code.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Any more
Zoning code
comments,
definitions.
questions, or concerns from commissioners? Mr. Buckley, I do have a question of you, if you would please approach the podium. Can you tell me, so where E would be detached homes?
Yes.
Am I assuming correctly that the space between the detached homes and D, which are the train car business units, I know this is conceptual, but am I to understand that that's a parking lot? Would
That is
be-
correct.
Okay. So would the residential structures face the front, would they face toward the parking lot, or would they face in? What I'm getting at is, with most new residential development on a tight lot like this, they're not parking lots. And so there's like usually an alley and garages and those things. And so I'm just trying to get a sense of what we should expect here.
So, Mr. Chair, honestly, in planning that aspect of the site plan, in looking at it, we focused on the layout of the units, but we did not focus on the orientation.
Okay.
The honest answer is that that has not been determined at this point.
All right, I like the honesty, thank you for that. But just food for thought, I mean, I would just hate to see a big parking lot, you know, that's so very 1980s maybe. And I am a little disappointed to hear that you're not planning to do anything with Wagon Works. With all of this new stuff coming, it could probably use a little refresh.
Well, when you say we're not planning to do with the building itself?
Your comment was that we're not planning to do anything with Wagon Works.
Well,
and so
no.
that just made a light go off in my head.
When I said that we're not doing anything with the Wagon Works, what I meant was that there will be no full or partial demolition of that facility. Of course, as this entire development is redone, there will be a look at, as you said, refreshing the building, but there's nothing that we plan that would alter or take away from the historic integrity of that building, is all I meant to say.
Okay, all right, thank you for the clarification. Those are all the questions that I have. Commissioners, any other comments, questions, or concerns? Okay, the motion on the floor made by Commissioner Tucker, seconded by Commissioner Lovett, is that this body recommends approval of case number 2018 Z as in zebra-010-09 with conditions as stated by staff. All in favor sound aye. All opposed sound nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it. This body approves the motion, and so we'll recommend approval. Our next agenda item will be announcements. Staff, do you have any announcements this evening? I see head shaking, so no. All right. Commissioners, any announcements?
I have one. Thank you so very much, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I've been very quiet tonight. Can you like that?
I do.
I thought you would.
Okay.
The South Florida Ministerial Alliance, we will be hosting a fall health wellness fair at the St. Stephen Missionary Baptist Church, 2670 Hogan Road on November the 3rd. So if you would come out for blood screening, lupus, diabetes, dementia, there'll be fruit. We'll be giving away coats for the winter there at the St. Stephen Missionary Baptist Church. One of the things that I really want to emphasize, if you have kids 18 to 24 and you want to get them in school, there's a program called Year Up. They'll be there to talk about how kids can get in school for 1 year program, get into a technical school and learn how to do technology, and they put them in an intern program after they finish it, and they can earn as much as $18 an hour. So November the 3rd, St. Stephen Missionary Baptist Church, 2670 Hogan Road. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Fan.
And
Any
what
other
time is
announcements?
that, Commissioner?
Yes, Commissioner Lovett.
The time?
Oh, from 11 to 2. It's going to be from 11 to 2 on November the 3rd. Thank you.
All right, great. Any other announcements? Hearing none, Commissioners, at this time I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll
there a
second that.
The motion has been made to adjourn by Commissioner Miller, second by Commissioner Fan. All in favor sound aye. Aye. All opposed sound nay. Hearing none, this meeting is now adjourned.